Okay, welcome back. Last video. There we go. Okay, so if we look, kind of revisiting that initial slide, once we have the anions and the cations, they form this really nice back and forth kind of checkerboard um, of atoms just lining up because this is how they're attracted to each other, right? So all the negatively charged particles can surround themselves. So notice this one particle here is surrounded by one, two, three positively charged um, atoms and vice versa, but it's all, they all balance each other out, right? So this is a one-to-one ratio because they're both one minus and one positive. So this is what we call a crystal lattice. And so there's this thing called Coulomb's law. We're not going to get too much into it until you take AP chemistry or higher level chemistry again, but it just basically says that once atoms come closer to each other, they basically become more attracted to each other. And so this is the distance between their nuclei. And so they are attracted to each other, their electrons and their protons are attracted, and their positive and negatively charged uh, like imbalance attracts each other, and so that's how we form bonds. So other atoms can form these ionic bonds too, right? So here's lithium, which is also from group 1. It can form a bond with chlorine as well. Here's magnesium. Notice magnesium has a 2 plus charge and oxygen has a 2 minus charge. So this is also going to form a 1-to-1 ratio in the compound because the plus and the minuses now balance each other out when they're in a compound, but they're not always going to be a 1-to-1 ratio. So when we talk about how do we use ionic compounds, these are actually really useful in industry. So my husband uses them a lot for work, for his work that he does because he works with metal a lot. And so you can actually manipulate the positive and negative charges with batteries or with an electric current. And this is how we get like electroplated jewelry or like chromed car parts, like how sometimes you'll buy something and it has a nice shiny metal coating, it may be like shiny chrome, and after a couple years maybe that chrome wears off and underneath it's not the nice shiny metal anymore, right? That's because it was only coated with a really thin layer of these ions, which were shiny. So we can do that with gold, we can do it with copper. I'm going to give you guys a couple more videos on electroplating just because it's a really cool application of ionic compounds.